Are you serious? Are you serious? Hey guys, we got more breaking news update on the Yehudah Glick arrest. He's been arrested again. The police this time decided to come to his home. Now, he was arrested on the Temple Mount yesterday while on a private tour taking Congressman Jim Jordan, the Republican of Ohio, who so faithfully defended the President of the United States during the impeachment inquiry, and also Republican Congressman Mike Johnson from Louisiana. Now, he took both these congressmen and their wives and family, 9 people, up on the Temple Mount on a Tuesday morning tour of the Temple Mount and prayer, which Glick is allowed to pray every Tuesday morning. He's been given that right. Well, yesterday, somebody didn't like it. And, was it? I don't know. I mean, we just did a television show where I interviewed Rabbi Yehudah Glick in October, where I went to Israel in October and interviewed him. I aired that television show last week on all my channels. It got, 30,000 views on YouTube, and it was seen by, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people on television. But is that what caused this? I hope not. But he takes Jim Jordan up there, Congressman Jordan, Congressman Johnson, and the police harass him and arrest him, saying he's walking too slowly. Now, Glick said he walked the same path he always goes, exactly where he's told to go. He doesn't break any of the rules. He was walking too slowly. We're in our live broadcast today at 12 noon Eastern. We're going to show you the entire harassing attack and how he's handcuffed and drug off the Temple Mount yesterday, but it didn't end there. Guys, apparently they came to his house last night at 11:30 p.m. through the midnight hour, flipping beds upside down with a search warrant, an arrest warrant. They said he stole documents from the police station where they had him detained and questioned for hours. They said that he stole the documents. He's saying, what are you talking about? They flipped his house upside down. It was an ugly situation. The police reportedly suspected that Yehudah Glick took police documents related to his case during his time in the detention. Wow, I mean, Glick must be good if that. Come on, guys. But anyway, they received a search warrant to look for documents in Yehudah Glick's home. Glick said they showed up at 11:30 at night. Police officers, they came to harass me. They did a complete search warrant. Glick pulled out a phone and took pictures of them doing this. We'll show you the pictures of the search going on in his house during our live broadcast today. They searched. They looked inside the house. It's all on the Times of Israel's got an entire article on it. Israel Channel 24 interviewed Glick last night. They kind of tried to beat Glick up. He pushed back heavy, said he has a right to go up there. All Jews have a right to go up there. He didn't break any of the rules. Was it because it was 2 congressmen with him? Israeli police, however, Glick was arrested after violating, they said, visiting rules on the compound, walking too slowly, according to police, following a visit to the Temple Mount with 2 United States congressmen and their families. Glick returned to the compound at the gate, an uncoordinated visit, and began provoking officers there, they said. Glick began to wander around the Temple Mount in violation of visiting rules, which he's familiar from the previous visits. He refused to adhere to their... Guys are saying that he did this unauthorized with these congressmen. He's been giving permission to go. So Glick has been arrested a second time and put now on 24-hour house arrest after they did a complete search of his home where they flipped beds upside down, got into his daughter's makeup, and the stuff is scattered. You can imagine what kind of a deal that was. So anyway, look, I don't know. And apparently they found nothing. The documents aren't there, apparently. Here we go again. But is this political? I mean, is this part of the peace process? Remember, Glick is the leading advocate. And I have interviewed Rabbi Yehudah Glick 5 or 6 times. And, he's a personal friend of mine because I asked the world to pray for him when he was shot 4 times. The Palestinians tried to assassinate him, and they shot him 4 times. So, he's a friend of mine. But at the same time, I understand that he's an Orthodox Jew who wants prayer. He wants Jews to be allowed to pray on the Temple Mount. He wants Christians to be able to pray on the Temple Mount, and he wants Muslims to be allowed to pray in the Temple Mount. They already are. They're praying at the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. But despite that, he was also a member of the Knesset, guys. This guy was in the Knesset 3 years, a personal friend of Benjamin Netanyahu. Well, they're getting ready to put Benjamin Netanyahu on trial on March 17th. And the election in Israel is March 2nd. So is this politically motivated to somehow scar or throw some more mud on Netanyahu? Or is this some kind of a ploy to throw some mud on Trump's peace deal? Since these were two congressmen who are faithful supporters of Trump. I mean, there's a lot going on here, and obviously it's raising major national attention in Israel and around the Middle East. But Glick said last night in an interview with I-24 News, he's calling on President Trump to step in and make a statement that Jews should be allowed to pray on the Temple Mount. So let's see if the president of the United States intervenes in this right now or not. Is it too early? Who knows? But we'll watch as we're in the end times. I know so I'm giving you a disclosure that I have been. As a matter of fact, I even brought Stephen Ben-Danoon with me, and he and I together went to the Knesset and went to Yehudah Glick's office, and we sat down there and had a nice meeting with a nice conversation where I interviewed Glick, and Stephen was running the cameras. And so he and I both know that Glick is a very pleasant guy, a very kind guy. And so, we wonder I'm wondering what in the world's going on here. And I'm sure Stephen is too. And I'm sure anyone and everyone that's watching is wondering what's taking place. But one thing's for sure, we're seeing that as we are in the Bible, if you look at the Bible prophecies, as you start to move into this, maybe, we're going to see the covenant with many found in Daniel chapter 9:27. And if this is the covenant of many, does it lead to not only a two-state solution, which Glick is adamantly against, because of Joel 3:2, and many Christians, and even myself, you don't want to part the land. God told you don't do it, or he'll bring judgment on the nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat. But at the same time, if you study Genesis, you know that God did say to Rebekah that in her womb were two nations and two manner of people, and that the older will serve the younger. And this was, of course, Esau was first and Jacob was second, and Esau has to serve Jacob. And that's what we're witnessing. And now we get ready to see the two nations developed. It was prophesied by God to Abraham 4,000 years ago. I hope not, but it's like God knew it was going to happen anyway. And it's like Jesus knew it too, because Jesus in Matthew 24 says, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth let him understand. I think this is real important, that Jesus then is saying, wow, guys, when you see the abomination of desolation, you better flee into the mountains. If you live in Judea, that's the West Bank. So why would he have said that? Because Jews are living in the West Bank. Matter of fact, 1 million Jews are living in the West Bank. And in this two-state solution, they'll still be living in the West Bank. Which means once the temple's built, once things going, everybody thinks everything's going to be great. At some point, the Antichrist shows up, guys. He really does. And declares that he's God. And Jews then get attacked, especially the ones living in the West Bank, because they're already in the wrong territory or wrong state. Okay, so let's watch and see how this develops. It's real interesting. I say stay calm and pray for the peace of Jerusalem, but Glick seems to be at the tip of the spear here again. He was nearly assassinated once, and now he seems to be getting, and as a former member of the Knesset, it's strange that he's being harassed by the police, but no, it's not. We should remember. This is the same police department that's harassing Benjamin Netanyahu and have forced a trial on him now. which is scheduled for March 17th. I've not got anything against the police of Israel. I think they have to do their job. It just shows you there's a lot of tension building in these last days. Don't miss today's live broadcast. Starts at 12 noon Eastern. It's going to be powerful. We're going to give you some updates about the Democratic debate that's coming up tonight. We're going to talk about Yehudah Glick's arrest. We're going to talk about China has just brought in 40 new incinerators, 40 new ones. I've got pictures of them. They're lining them up. They've got to because of the numbers of people dying. They got to keep burning the bodies as quickly as possible because of the coronavirus. And there's a whole lot more to talk about. I'll see you guys at 12 noon Eastern. Are you serious? And check out that Patreon we did yesterday. People are loving it. It's over on my Patreon channel. It has to do with that CIA files that Trump released. He declassified thousands of CIA documents, and Brock has been going through the files and found an incredible story about a UFO disclosure. I'll just say that. You just go check it out. It's just wow. Are you serious? What do we do with it? Give your life to Jesus Christ is what you better do. Because see, all these things are the strong delusion, the deception, everything's happening. We're in the last days.